Have you ever wondered how your favorite game keeps track of a huge list of high scores, or how an app juggles all of your contacts? Well, the answer, a lot of the time, comes down to one of the most basic yet powerful tools in all of programming, the Java array. By the time we're done here, you'll get what they are, and more importantly, why they are so darn essential. So let's just dive right in.
Okay, so let's start with a real-world problem. Imagine you've built a game, people love it, and now you need to store the top 100 high scores for each day. How would you even begin to tackle that? What's your first instinct?
Well, you could create 100 separate variables, right? Score 1, score 2, score 3, but I think you can already see where this is going. It gets messy, and it gets messy fast. It's clunky, super repetitive, and honestly, it would be an absolute nightmare to manage.
And this, right here, this is what we can call the data overload problem. It's that exact moment you realize you've got a ton of similar pieces of data and just no clean, efficient way to handle them all.
I mean, it just feels wrong, doesn't it? Our code is supposed to be smart and elegant. There's just got to be a better way, some kind of single, organized container for all this information.
And you're right, there is. So let me introduce you to the solution, the array. This is the simple, elegant tool that was specifically designed to solve our data overload problem. Okay, so here's the official textbook definition. An array is a container that holds a fixed number of values of a single specific type. Now, those two words, fixed and single, are super important, and we're going to come back to them. But first, let's make this whole idea way, way simpler. Forget the jargon. I want you to just picture a row of numbered mailboxes, like at the post office. It's that simple. Each mailbox can hold just one item. And this is important. All the items have to be the same type. So all letters, no packages allowed. And finally, once that row of mailboxes is built, you can't just tack on more at the end. The number you start with is the number you're stuck with. That, in a nutshell, is an array.
So how do we actually build one of these rows of mailboxes in our code? Well, it's a really simple three-step blueprint. Let's walk through it.
First, you declare it. You're basically telling Java, hey, I'm going to need an array. Then you create it, which is where you tell the computer exactly how many mailboxes you need. And finally, you initialize it, which is just putting your stuff in the mailboxes. So remember, declare, create, initialize.
All right, step one, declaration. We tell Java we want a variable called high scores, and it's going to hold an array of integers. See those square brackets? That's the magic signal. That's what tells Java, hey, this isn't a normal variable, it's an array.
Step 2 is creation. We use the special new keyword to actually build the thing in the computer's memory. So new int 10 is us telling the system, go find some space and set up 10 integer-sized mailboxes for me. And right at this moment, that size of 10 is locked in.
And finally, step 3, initialization. To put data inside, we use the mailbox number inside those square brackets and then assign our value. So here, we're putting the score 950 into mailbox number 0. And yes, you heard me right, 0. We're going to talk all about that in just a second.
Now, of course, if you already know exactly what data you want to put in your array right from the start, Java gives you this fantastic shortcut. You can declare, create, and initialize all in one single, clean line of code. This is super common, and you'll probably use it all the time. Okay, so we've built our row of mailboxes, and we've put our letters inside. So how do we get our mail back out? This brings us to probably the most important part, actually accessing the data inside our array. I want you to just look at this number for a second. Seriously. When it comes to arrays in Java, and a ton of other programming languages, this is the single most important number you need to remember. And here's why. This is the critical rule. Computers don't start counting from 1 like we do. They start counting from 0. So the first mailbox, the very first item in your array, is not at position 1. It is always at position 0. This is called zero-based indexing, and it's one of those fundamental things you just have to burn into your brain. So what does that look like in code? Well, if you want to get the very first high score from our list, you ask for the item at index 0. High scores 0 gives you that first value. If you were to ask for high scores 1, you'd actually be getting the second score in the list. It takes a little getting used to, but you'll get the hang of it. And this is where arrays truly become powerful. Remember our problem with the 100 high scores? Instead of writing 100 lines of code, you can just write a simple little loop that says, hey, go visit every single mailbox for me, from 0 all the way up to 99. It's clean, it's efficient, and it completely solves our original problem.
No more repetitive code.
All right, let's start to wrap this up by boiling everything we've talked about down to the two absolute golden rules of arrays, the two things you absolutely have to remember.
So, here they are. Golden rule number 1. The size is fixed. Once you make an array with 10 slots, it's always going to have 10 slots. You can't change it. And the reason for that is all about performance. It guarantees that the computer can access your data super fast because it knows exactly where everything is. And rule number 2. The data type is uniform. An array of integers can only hold integers, that's it. And that's to make sure that memory is being used as efficiently as possible.
So what's the big takeaway here? When you think about arrays, I want you to think 3 things. They are fast, they are memory efficient, and maybe, most importantly, they are the fundamental building block for so many other, more complex data structures you're going to learn about later.
Getting a handle on the array is your first huge step. It's kind of like learning how to make a perfect, solid brick. So now that you know how to make the brick, the real question is, what amazing, incredible structures are you going to build with it now? That's the exciting next step on your journey.